And John Obi Mikel out as well with Ramirez in there. I thought that Willian, normally if you look at the starting 11, I think he picks himself alongside Nemanja Matic, but it is Ramirez that gets a chance now.
3 changes for PSG as well. Adrien Rabiot coming into midfield with Thiago Motta. Benjamin Stambouli and Marco Verratti making way. There is Rabiot, who started both of the games prior to this, which resulted in PSG victories. It's Benfica and Fiorentina. See what changes are made as we get a little bit further on, but still limited swaps compared to what it could have been. Gives you an indication as to the level at which both of these managers are taking the serious nature of coming up against each other.
Yeah, I mean, Thiago Motta, of course, that's the story. He's asked to leave. He continues to want to leave. Cooled down a little bit in the last few days. Remember, I wasn't even considered for the last match. I still think he's such an important man for PSG. And, you know, the last thing you want in a camp when things are going well is those sort of situations. Yes, it's the silly season, but I think if you're PSG, you want to resolve that. Let's not forget Digne, the left back, also wanting to leave. So a couple of hot spots there for PSG.
We'll see how Motta gets on in that midfield with Rabiot. To who they have such high hopes for.
Another player not very happy, and of course at the age of, what's he, 20 years old, why is he not happy being at PSG? Playing time, well, we've just mentioned the sort of players they have in that midfield. You've got to earn it, and I think for him, he needs to be patient and not wanting to move away from the club. See it here. Rabiot lets that go. That's a bad touch from Augustin.
Rabiot has seen game time in Ligue 1 and in the Cups as well. Just wonder sometimes whether the comments are overblown or whether the personality is overblown. Certainly at a young age, he has so much to learn. Confirmation of the changes across the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, he has to be happy with the time that he's getting right now. He's got to earn the time, as we've mentioned, and you know, his attitude's got to be different because we've watched him now, and even in games like this when he gets an opportunity, his body language not always the best. His work rate, it's certainly not what's required when you're fighting for a spot at a club like PSG.
Well, there is the 20-year-old Kurt Zouma replacing Gary Cahill. Ramirez in for John Obi Mikel. Here is the Brazilian Ramirez. Courtois replacing Begovic, who will feel a good deal better after his first half display here, even though he was beaten by Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Pulled off a number of decent saves against Augustin and certainly against Lucas Moura to keep the score at 1. He conceded 4 in the first game against New York Red Bulls. Here's Fabregas with Ramirez. Good work from Marquinhos to track him. Jose Mourinho so far resisting the urge to introduce Radamel Falcao. He joined up with the team on Thursday alongside his compatriot Juan Cuadrado and Willian.
Inconceivable, of course, that he'll give him a few minutes. I'm not sure if he's going to get Diego Costa there for the entire match. I guess Loic Remy is there as well. So I think before the season starts, he certainly will want to give players a look. Just the fact of getting used to players around them as well. That just makes sense. And I think Falcao will be ready for 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Here's Augustin. Erroneous first touch from Ibrahimovic, recovered. Strike coming in from Thiago Motta. Flight of which confused Thibaut Courtois just for a moment.
Well, if you have no options, yeah, why not? And that's what Thiago Motta brings. He's that deep-lying midfielder, of course, but never afraid to go forward a little bit. And I think Courtois takes his eyes off of that. I think if I had to think what goes through his mind, he's probably catching it and already thinking how to distribute that ball.
Rabiot has found Matuidi. Covered by Terry. And Matic was there to govern against Adrien Rabiot's attempts to win it back. If you are to believe the rumour mill, and it's probably dangerous to do so, Motta's destination could be Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, it could be. It just kind of makes sense for Diego Simeone and that system, I suppose. They're the sort of club that would 1, 2, 3, 4 deep in that part of the pitch, as physical as they are, as much as they press.
It's a nice idea from Rabiot. Looking to play in his fellow youngster.
Pierno Sequeira could go the other way to PSG. If Digne leaves, of course, they would need some cover on that left-hand side. Just rumors.
Is trying to get the perfect timing to go with Diego Costa's run there. It's a thumbs up. Diego Costa, it seems, is building up his fitness again. Did return after that spell out towards the end of the season. He got a couple of games in for Chelsea before he resisted the urge, or Mourinho and Del Bosque sorted it out between themselves as to whether he would be called by Spain for a friendly engagement plus a European Championship qualifier right at the end of the campaign. Allowed Costa to regain his fitness. There's a little bit of slackness there from Ibrahimovic, which has resulted in Rabiot giving away the free kick, and I don't think he's very happy with his captain there.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I spoke about body language. I understand that if if you're good enough, the age doesn't matter. But that's probably something. Look, at Zlatan's talking. That's something that you don't do at any team, especially at PSG right now. Yes, he's isolated. Yes, that's a bad tackle. Does he have to tackle? Maybe he can just run. He knows that Hazard's going to try to take him on, so I'll just probably force him outside and run with him, because you're always going to get beaten by Hazard if you're Rabiot. But so he probably wanted some help, maybe a shout from someone. But yeah, the body language wasn't good.
The free kick is dealt with by Serge Aurier. You are just joining us. Aurier had a fantastic first half. Another header won, this time by Rabiot. Terry keeps the lid on it. PSG keeping calm and dealing with that ball. Augustin with a lovely little drag, but no foul. Matic. Good vision from Ivanovic. Fabregas tried to nod it into the path of Costa. Free kick given away. The referee is from the United States, Ted Runkle. A really noteworthy chance in this second half so far. A bit too cat and mouse at the moment.
Yeah, well, the tempo of the game is not good enough for us to see a great game right now, and especially if you're Chelsea, I think. I mean, their width hasn't been good enough. We haven't seen Azpilicueta and Ivanovic go forward. We often see one or the other at times. We haven't seen really much of width in terms of Eden Hazard. From time to time, we've seen it. Almost nothing from Victor Moses, apart from the first 5 minutes where he got loose there. So I think if you look at Chelsea, the way they're playing with the tempo, it's going to be difficult for them. That's why PSG have got the possession here.
Matuidi and Ibrahimovic comfortable to just sit very deep. Happy for others to pick up the thread as he links the play. Now found himself in space but decided not to turn. It's been spread nicely for Maxwell. He's been waiting for it. Motta. Coached with by Azpilicueta. Unable to find a decent way out.
Again, but what a movement in that last one. See the benefits you get from Zlatan Ibrahimovic coming deep into the midfield, right? Because he brings a defender with him. And of course, then you play that ball out wide and you have a chance, because Maxwell was always creeping up. So we've seen this from Zlatan Ibrahimovic, but more so on this tour so far in the last 2 games, that he really does come deep, allowing the 2 other strikers to come more central at times.
Azpilicueta, who picked up a yellow card in the first half. Opportunity for those substitutes to go through the game plan. Could I'd be expecting a raft of changes in the second half. Jose Mourinho used 20 players against the New York Red Bulls. Only 3 of them managed to play all 90 minutes. Azpilicueta was one of them. Ball out to the far side from Ibrahimovic again. Lucas has been very quiet so far at the start of this second half. Opposite performance that we enjoyed from the first half. There's Aurier again. Lifted off to this near side. You see in the bottom of your picture. Lucas Moura. Marquinhos. PSG really the team of the very highly paid transfer fees for centre-backs.
Still a mystery for me, really. I mean, nothing against David Luiz, but, 15 million, that's a lot of money for a player like this. And I'm not saying he can be successful here. He continues to learn. We've seen what he can do, especially on set pieces. But you're absolutely right. Looking at their depth and who they have, it just makes you wonder if that was absolutely necessary for a team like PSG.
Thiago Silva and Marquinhos, of course, alongside him with hefty fees paid. Meanwhile, at the other end, Ibrahimovic trying to craft it from a Tweedy.
It's going to be interesting to see PSG, especially in the center, because with Rabiot and Thiago Motta right now, they are not as dynamic with Verratti out, right? 2 players that like to pass the ball for the most part. You're not going to see both of them running back-to-back, really. So it changes things. It should play into Chelsea if they want to take advantage of that. But as I mentioned, I'm very surprised that there's absolutely no tempo from Chelsea. I can't imagine that Jose Mourinho is happy with that.
Maxwell. Lucas finding Thiago Motta. Here comes Gregory van der Wiel. For Ibrahimovic. To the full-back, and Augustin able to turn inside. Zuma got to him. Another strike from distance from Thiago Motta. PSG looking to ask more of the questions.
Oh, absolutely. We saw Augustin there, just inches away of getting himself free, right, at a look on goal. I don't know if you saw his reaction. He knew how close he was to score another goal.
There's Lucas. Augustin again. Happy to give seniority back to Ibrahimovic. His ball for Lucas. Lovely touch, and Victor Moses coming in, winning the ball back and starting